All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the July 2023 Zoning Board of Appeals meeting, Town of Carmel. The way we operate is I will ask you to come up to the podium when your case is called. I'll swear you in, unless you're a lawyer or attorney. We'll hear the case. We'll give the board members the opportunity to ask questions, and we'll open it up to the public for anyone who wishes to be heard on any application. Tonight we have our board members. Their names are in front of you on the dais. Mike Carnazza, Code Enforcement Officer, and Joe Charbonneau, our Town Attorney, with us this evening. Will you all please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you all. Our first case tonight is a holdover application number 1, Frank Giordano. I'm not going to read it because Frank had approached me and is requesting a holdover, right? So you want to
Correct.
get that on the record?
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. Frank J. Smith III, Law Office of Schilling and Smith. On behalf of the applicant, Frank Giordano, I was able to speak with my client late this afternoon. As you guys are aware, you're a 7-member board. We have 5 members present this evening. My client would require 4 affirmative votes to prevail. Due to the board count tonight, we are respectfully requesting an adjournment. Due to previously scheduled engagements, Mr. Schilling and I are both unavailable in August. We even have a matter that's very time sensitive that we're going to have covered by another colleague in August. So I would respectfully request that this matter be held over until the September meeting.
All right, I'll look for a motion on that.
Motion to hold over till September.
Do I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And second case tonight is yours as well, and that's for Bore Cottage, application number 2. And
Yep,
same
thank you
thing,
again.
want
Same spiel
state
as
it for the
before. My client would prefer a full board or to the extent possible, as many members as we can get. This again would require 4 affirmative votes to prevail. Again, challenging application. We would respectfully request that the matter be held over until September as well because of
Just
this.
bear in mind, there's no guarantee that we'll have a full board at that time, too. People
I
have
know.
vacations and family obligations and whatnot that come up, so.
I know, and I know the August meeting is also a couple days before Labor Day as well,
Right.
so I figured that probably wasn't going to be a full board, but being that we're both out of
Actually,
town.
okay, there's just, John is going to be out, but Julie's going to be here.
Well,
You
it'd
guys
still be
all-
the 5.
Still 5.
Still be the 5.
Yeah, and I know that Mr. Rossiter has resigned from the board, and there hasn't been a replacement yet.
Unfortunately.
Hopefully, in the next month and a half, that would take place, but again,
Hopefully.
I understand, no guarantees.
No
Is
guarantees.
that dock in place? And they're using it or not?
I believe it's in place. I'm unsure about use.
I was there 2 days ago, and it's dilapidated, so they better not be using it because it's unsafe.
Okay.
I don't know what you could do about it, but I saw some parts all around the lake in some other areas through social media, so I don't know if that's part of their dock or not, but I don't know if you can do anything about it, Mike, but,
I'll speak with my client first thing tomorrow morning about the condition of it, for sure.
Okay.
okay. So I'll look for a motion.
Motion to hold over till September.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank
So
you, members of the board.
anyone here tonight is for these 2 applications, I apologize, we didn't know this until last minute, so sorry for the inconvenience. But,
I second that.
You're
Thank
welcome
you.
to stick around for the other cases if you'd like.
Have a good night. Thank you.
Good night. All right, good night.
Take care.
I'm sorry?
At the next meeting, I'll be out of New York. Is it possible to speak into the record now?
Not until the public
Yeah, we
hearing
got
is
close.
open.
Yeah,
You can
right,
submit
we didn't open
public
it to a public
comment.
hearing. You could submit a letter.
Yeah, submit a
It'll be
letter,
in
Mike.
September. They're holding
Yeah,
a-
Mike, you're not going to be here until, it's September, not August. That's when you're going to be out of town? He wanted
They're-
it held
they're
over
looking
till
for
September,
a
not
postponement
the
to-
August date, September. It would be the normal 4th Thursday.
Okay? All right, third application is William and Joy Bloomer for variation of section 156-15 seeking a variance for permission to retain one shed and pergola. The property is located at 188 East Lake Boulevard, Mahopac, New York, tax map 76.22-1-12. Code requires for the shed 10 feet. What's provided is 2.7 feet, so they're seeking a variance of 7.3 feet. And for the pergola, it's 10 feet as well. What's provided is 3.1 feet, looking for a variance of 6.9 feet. Good evening, folks.
Good evening.
Both of you going to speak, I presume?
I'm going to speak mostly.
Would you speak loudly and clearly into the microphone?
Can you hear me now?
There's also a handheld there as well,
Okay,
Yeah, but that was good.
all right?
good?
And raise your right hands. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
Okay, explain your situation.
Let's get her name for the record.
Oh, what's your name for the record and your address?
I'm Mary Joy Bloomer. This is William Bloomer,
William Bloomer.
And your address?
40 Greenfield Road, Mahopac.
Okay. Bring us through your situation. What brought you here?
The variance for the property, pergola and the shed. We're not 10 feet from the neighbor's property line.
Were you served, or did someone make a
Yes.
call?
No, we got a letter.
Okay. So how long have they been there, both items?
How long have we had that on the property?
Yes.
Well, we bought the property in 1963. But the property that pergola and the shed are on, we bought later, and the shed was already there. It had been previously owned by Cargain.
And what year was that?
You remember how long ago we bought that? Maybe 76, something like that.
So the shed was there the whole time? Then what
Yes,
about
the
what
shed's
about
been
the
there.
pergola?
The pergola we put up afterwards.
What year was that built in?
I would say maybe 4 years ago.
Okay. So you didn't realize you needed a permit or a variance?
No.
Did you talk to your neighbors at all?
We always talk to our neighbors.
They what?
We talk to our neighbors all the time. They have the same situation.
Okay. And so I guess they'll be coming to us next. or
One of them
in the
has
near
already
future.
come.
Yes. Across the street.
There's no property you can buy to bring it into conformance?
No.
Unfortunately, you're landlocked there. Yeah, you're landlocked and you're lake locked as well. I mean, I was out there the other night, beautiful structures, both of them, so, I'm sure the fact that they're pleasing to the eye to your neighbors, no one would complain about it. So at this point, I'll open it up to the board members.
No
Rose?
questions.
No questions, thank you.
No questions, thank you.
No questions, John.
All right, would anybody in the public wish to speak on this application? Okay, I'll look for a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion to close.
Do I have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. I forgot to mention, we'll adjudicate after we hear all the cases, and there'll be no further input from anybody on any case. So if you want to stick around, or if you have to get home, you can watch it on TV. Channel 79 on Comcast, and 24, I think, on...
24 on Verizon and 95 on Comcast.
95 on Comcast, okay. All right, thank you, folks.
Thank you.
All right, application number 4, Sargis Mirza, for a variation of section 156-15, seeking a variance for permission to erect one-story, two-car garage. The property is located at 19 Brookview Drive, Carmel, New York. It's tax map 55.2-66. The code requires or allows 20 feet to the side. What's being provided is 13.8, and a variance of 6.2 is being sought. Good evening, you are?
Good evening, I'm Sargis Mirza, 19 Brookview Drive, Carmel, New York, 10512.
You can turn the mic up to your mouth if you would, please, we can hear you better. Raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
All right, bring us through your situation. You already have a garage there now as part of the house, correct?
Part of the house, yes.
And what's the reason for an additional garage?
I have quite a few cars that I'd like to bring in one location and keep them at the house.
Okay, are you a collector or
I'm just a car enthusiast.
car enthusiast? So you work on cars, you're mechanically
I really
inclined?
don't work on them too much. It's just more for storage purposes, oil changes, brakes and stuff like that, but I'm not building cars, no.
Okay. And I'll ask the same questions. There's no other property you can do to bring this into conformance?
Not really, no.
And could you move this? And it's not built yet, so could this be moved to minimize or mitigate the amount of variance that you're looking for?
It could be moved, but I'd like it to coincide with the driveway that's going up to the house. So that way, if it's straight, I can just continue up the driveway, as opposed to having it in the middle of the yard and having to turn into it at that point.
Yeah, I see, it makes sense. So you're gonna add the driveway to that
Correct.
portion and connect it?
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense.
It does, considering the slant of that driveway, the way it's going.
Yeah.
Even if you try to curve it, you can't.
Yeah, it'll be difficult
You
to.
talk to your neighbors about this?
My direct neighbor is all for it. She said it's no problem for
As long
her.
as you keep her car in there. All right, board members, John, we'll start down here. Any questions on this application?
Well, that's going to be the bottom over 600 square feet. How many cars do you fit in there?
I should be able to fit 4 cars because I'm gonna put 2 lifts in, because I have another 4 cars.
So you're going to have the height to lift cars up and park underneath?
Correct, yes.
So you can do about 6 cars in there?
No, only 4.
Only 4?
Only 4. The other space is just for my tools and whatever else I have.
It's transient space.
Correct.
Are
And
you
you'll-
gonna have 3 bay doors on the front?
No, only 2 bays.
Two.
2 bays and 1 door to get in, that's it.
I just didn't look, the plans are in here, I just didn't get them.
That's okay.
Yeah, it doesn't show that detail.
Which makes sense, because
Yeah,
it'd be hard to
partially
make
does.
that swing to the left bay.
Yeah, it'd be hard to make that.
You're not gonna get in there.
Yeah.
Anything further, John?
Is that going to be a mason shed, or is that going to be out of wood, that garage?
How's it gonna be built, is that the
Yeah.
question? It's gonna have a concrete foundation, 4 feet high, and then the wood portion of it will be attached to the concrete up top.
Okay,
Prefab.
good.
Yeah, so it looks like it's block, subgrade, and 4 feet above grade,
Correct.
and then wood framing above that.
And the electric is underground going to there?
It will be, yes.
Okay.
I'll have Mike come out and check, or whoever has to come out and check.
Yeah, it's not, I'm not sure if you
No
understand.
plumbing, right?
No plumbing, no.
That was my question.
All right,
Yeah.
well.
No further questions, John, thank you.
I now have no questions.
All right, Silvio, any questions?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Phil?
No questions.
Rose?
I'm very aware of that whole development. I watched it all go up when I was on Architectural Review Board, and it's a very beautiful neighborhood.
It is.
Probably one of the nicest in Carmel. So I drove around a little bit, and I noticed there's no other detached garages. You would be the only one.
Probably. There are sheds, but no garages.
No garages.
No.
Do you plan to park commercial vehicles there?
Absolutely not.
Because it kind of looks commercial to me in some ways. Does your community have restrictions?
Not that I'm aware of.
No?
Yeah, any covenant deeds or?
It's kind of inconsistent with the neighborhood, this structure.
It may be, but I can actually conform it to the variance if I had to, but I have, like I said, quite a few cars. I like them to be home. I don't want to drive everywhere to get them.
And you're not using it for commercial purposes?
Absolutely not, no, absolutely not. It's not a business, it's not for commercial use, nothing like that. It's just to store my cars.
What kind of cars do you have?
I got a couple of 68 Camaros. I have a twin-turbo 78 Malibu. I have an 88 Mustang,
Wow.
you know, so.
Some classics.
That answers my question.
That's why I
That's some
collect watches.
classics. It's a lot cheaper.
It's an expensive hobby.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Where do you have it now?
I have a couple in the garage now. I have one in a warehouse in Queens. I have another one in a trailer in Connecticut. So they're kind of all over the place.
So you're bringing them home to roost?
I'm gonna bring them home, yeah.
And your neighbors know what's going on?
My neighbors know I don't make any noise with what I have, you know.
No,
I'm
but
very
cars do.
considerate. I'm very considerate.
Okay.
I'm very friendly with my neighbors. I help my neighbors out if they need something, so I understand the neighborhood and what's there.
Yeah, there's nothing like that.
Yeah,
There's-
I'm not gonna do anything
It's
special.
beautiful, that neighborhood.
I just want to, you know,
Really is.
have them close to home.
Okay.
That's all.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, does anybody in the public wish to be heard on this application? Okay, I'll look for a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion to close the meeting.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Phil, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Thank you.
Do
Do you want me to sign in?
No, because
No,
your
you don't have
name's...
to. Your name's already on there.
So you're good.
Okay, application number 5, Danny and Doris Avila for a variation of section 156-15, seeking a variance for permission to add room where existing deck is. The property is located 94 Entrance Way, Mahopac, New York, tax map 74.35-1-2. The code requires or allows 15 feet to the rear. What's provided or intended is 11.2, and a variance being sought of 3.8 feet. All right, good evening.
Hi, how are you?
State your name and address for the record.
Danny Avila, 94 Entrance Way.
Okay, raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yep, yes.
Okay, I was out there the other night, so it looks like you're just basically enclosing what's already there. Did you not know you needed a variance for this originally, or?
Oh, we were just wondering if we can close the room, and then I start doing everything.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Can you speak into the mic more clearly?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I was wondering, we just want to close the room to the house, so then we know, I asked them, and they say you need a variance, so.
Okay, because there's a roof there now, I don't know if that's been inspected or what.
They didn't
Plans
do-
just call for a shed, or just state that there's a shed there now, but there's some kind of roof structure over there.
Yeah, they didn't build this addition yet. This is
There-
just,
There's a roof over this
no,
thing.
I'm not
There
saying
is.
there's not, but that's a porch though, isn't it?
That
Yes.
was, we bought it like that.
Yeah.
Open.
He wants to enclose it.
Okay, so, and then outside of the footprint of this thing, you're still gonna have a small deck,
We're just gonna have a small deck, yeah, to go to the patio.
according to the plans, so.
Yeah, according to the plans.
All right, is there any land you can purchase to make this conform?
No, I don't think
There's no, like, your neighbors are all, own the
No,
land
yeah.
all next to you?
I don't think they want to sell.
Okay. And you talked to all your neighbors
Yeah.
about this? Anybody have an issue or concern?
No, I talked to my neighbor on the back, his name is Paul, so he says it's fine.
Yeah, and you have a nice screened, solid fence between you guys, so. I'm
Yeah,
sure it
no,
won't-
I talk
won't
to Paul all
affect
the
it
time.
too much.
Yeah.
All right. Any questions from the board members? Rose?
So you're staying within the footprint of the deck as it exists right now?
Yeah, the deck is gonna be the same as the deck.
So the deck, you're gonna have an enclosed area and the deck,
It's gonna-
and that's gonna maintain on
In the same lane.
the same footprint?
Yep.
Okay, no other questions?
No questions, thank you.
Are you doing the work yourself?
I'm doing well, yeah, most of the time. I have a lot of friends, so. But then I know I don't know if I need a contractor, do I?
Your call.
Do they need a
You're allowed to work at your own house. Contractors that work at your house have to be licensed.
Right.
All right.
Unless there's a beer party.
You bring the pizza.
Anything, Sylvia?
Nothing for me, thank you.
John, any questions?
No questions.
All right, any input from the public on this application? I'll look for a motion to close the hearing.
Motion to close.
Do I have a second?
Second?
By Rose, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, application of Thomas Simone for a variation of section 156-15, seeking a variance for permission to install a shed onto waterfront property without a principal structure. The property is located at 879 South Lake Boulevard, Mahopac, New York, tax map 75.44-1-32. The code requires or allows 10-foot side. What's being provided is 1 foot, and a variance being sought of 9 feet. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, everybody.
State your name and address for the record.
I'm at, well, this address is 879, mine's 155 Bucks Hollow Road, Mahopac, New York.
Okay. And you are?
I am Tom Simone.
The one and only, okay.
Yeah.
Raise your right
Thank
hand,
God.
please. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Okay. Tom, bring us through your situation here.
Well, if you look, I guess you got to have a copy of the map, right?
Yeah.
Okay. If you look at 6N, and my property is, if you look at it, there's a row of arborvitaes that I planted years ago. And I also, which is not, I don't know why he didn't put my trees on the map. I got two beautiful flowering pears on each end of that. And it's actually in here if you guys wanted to see it. And she actually took, I gave her a picture of it.
We see the photo of
Upstairs.
that.
You know, we have it.
We have the
there
photo.
it is. You got it. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Looks good.
that's my property, okay? And that's across the street from 6N and Clark Place, okay? So you're not going to see this shed, just so you guys know. It's not going to be visible to the public. And it's on a footprint that my dad put an old shed on a long time ago, but it was in such disrepair. I took it down a long time ago. So I'm not saying I'm replacing a shed, but that's where the old one was, and and it's a perfect spot for me to put this one. I've been using it for a patio for the furniture and everything, you know. But I got so much stuff around the property now. It's got to get cleaned up, and so everything's going in a shed. You
So,
know,
Tom,
and
there's a
my
little-
neighbors are on board big time on this because they've been asking me to put a shed up for years.
There's a little vinyl shed that's there now. Is that going to be removed?
Oh, yeah, that's going. I want all that out of there. There's a small shed I put there, one of those plastic knock-up ones, and just so I could get some of the stuff, but it's all going. That's all going,
All
yeah.
right, there's no property you can buy to bring it into better conformance, correct?
The what?
No property you can purchase to bring it into conformance?
No.
No, you're landlocked there. Yeah, people own each side of you, correct?
Yeah, yeah. No, it's
And then
gonna,
the lake and then
it's gonna butt up right next to my neighbor's shed,
Right.
which is right next door.
to shed, yeah.
Yeah, that's all. And it's in a good spot. It's in a corner of my property. You're not gonna see it, and it's not gonna impede anything for me. The property's a pretty good size,
The
so.
fact that you have that hedgerow there really helps you out here, I think, because.
Yeah, yeah, you're not gonna see it
You're
at
already
all.
blocking the view of the lake, but it's all
Uh,
natural from God, so.
You know, I tell you, with all the traffic that is there,
I hear you.
the people,
You're right.
they can't wait to get out of the intersection. They don't have time to look at anything. You got to worry about getting hit.
Yeah.
Let me
It's
ask
the
you this,
light.
can we bring it in a little bit instead of 1 foot, like making it too close for comfort? Can we bring it out like to 3
You know,
feet?
I could do it whatever I want, but my neighbor's shed is up against his post. I says, if I put it up against, because I don't need any, he didn't need room on this fence side to do anything,
Yeah.
and I don't need it, so I says, I'll just put it up against the fence. That's where the old one was. I'll just leave it there.
You know, it's a tight spot anyway, so to maximize the use of the rest of the property, it makes sense.
Yeah, the property's 50 by 60. When you walk in the gate, you make a left, and it's up in the corner, which is a good spot for it. Like, it's out of the way, and like I say, nobody's going to see it.
All right, you talk to your neighbors, obviously.
They've been telling me to put one in
Okay.
because they get rid of everything else around the place.
And then your neighbor to the left, I'm sure he'll be coming through us soon.
Yeah, no, we get along great. I got great neighbors. I'm very fortunate like that.
Okay. All right, board members, John, any questions?
No, like you said, Tom, it lines up with your neighbor, you know, to the, would be to the west there. Now, what size is their shed? Do you know?
Their shed, I believe it's 10, I don't want to be I think it's 10 by 10. It looks like around, it's either 8 by 10 or 10 by 10.
And you're going to put a 10 by 16 up,
I'm putting a 12 by 16.
12 by 16.
But his property is very small. His property is small. I have the third largest piece on South Lake Boulevard without a home, without a home.
Yeah, without a primary.
Yeah, it's
bragging now,
it's a
really.
good-sized piece of property, yeah.
On the, you know, surveyor site plan, your shed looks a lot smaller than his, that's why, you know.
Yeah,
just with
and
the
actually,
layout.
Mike actually drew it to scale. If you want
Yeah.
to look at this one yours
Yeah.
should be to scale,
that.
but,
Yeah, we got
Yeah, we got that one.
yeah,
Yeah, I got this one right here.
yeah.
See that one? From Link,
It looks bigger.
the surveyor.
No, actually, ours is penciled in.
Oh, it's penciled in.
You guys want to go take a look at the
Yeah.
property, go look,
Yeah.
go walk there wherever you want.
I was there the other night.
Yeah, I drove by it the other day.
No, it looks fine. No further questions.
All right, Sylvia?
Not for me.
Phil?
Okay.
No questions, thank you.
Rose?
No questions.
Come on, Rose.
I know the next one.
All right.
She promises.
Any
Nice
input from the
guys.
public on this application? I'll look for a motion to close the hearing.
Motion to close.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you,
thank you
Tom.
very much, everybody. It's
Thank
nice
you.
meeting you all.
Have a good night.
Good night.
All right, application number 7, Liz and Pat Martin for variation of section 156-15, seeking a variance for permission to relocate accessory apartment. No setback variance needed. The property is located at 151 Secor Road, Mahopac, New York, and is tax map 74.12-2-56. The code requires or allows a single-family house with accessory apartment can be detached if existing prior to 1998. What's provided is a separate cottage as an accessory apartment being relocated, and the variance being sought is to relocate the accessory apartment cottage, therefore not existing prior to 1998. Good evening, Joel.
Good evening.
State your name and address for the record.
Joel Greenberg, 2 Musket Road, North Mahopac.
Speak to the mic.
Oh,
There you
yeah,
go.
2 Musket Road, North Mahopac.
Come on,
What's
Joel,
that?
here every month.
He's a regular. Just swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Okay, bring us through it.
Okay, this is the main house on the property on Secor Road, and you can see in the back here, that's the cottage that we want to move. Here's a picture of it. And we did a floor plan of the new cottage, and they have added a garage to one side of the new cottage, because there's no garage on the property at all. And that's basically it. Again, we're just basically reconstructing the accessory apartment. The house, of course, is going to remain the same. There are 2 separate septic systems, so there's no problem with the sewage, because the amount of bedrooms stays exactly the same. And that's about it.
So, Mike, this was referred to us because this is a decision beyond the 1998.
Yeah, the 1998 decision had a condition in it that, what was that condition? Something for mother-daughter, I think, didn't it have to be a mother-daughter? The family had to live in the back apartment?
Yes, actually, what happened now is her sister, Liz's sister, lived in that cottage. Unfortunately, she passed away a few months ago, and so.
And the new code allows an accessory apartment in a detached structure, provided it was legal as of 1998. Now, if they take down that structure and move it, that's not existing as of 1998. That's why they're here.
Okay. So, unless, of course, there's the family member that's moving in there, is that still true or hold true?
Well, there's not a family member in it now, so I guess,
Right.
right?
There's no one there now. It's empty.
It's empty?
Yeah.
Okay.
Their intention is to rent it, that's why they're making it accessory.
Right. There's also a good possibility that one of their sons might move into the cottage, but there's no guarantee to that.
There's no guarantees there unless,
No, absolutely.
so. All right.
But basically, the use of the property is exactly the same, except we're moving the building, the accessory apartment over.
I get it, but it's not 1998 at this point.
Well, that's why we're here. That's what we need the
So-
variance for.
How big is this apartment?
What's that?
How big is the dwelling unit? Because it's only allowed to be up to 900 square feet as an accessory also.
Oh, it's 900 or less. I
It's
can
less
give
than 900, or 900 or
Oh,
less?
900. That's not more than 900. That's correct.
So it is 900
Yeah,
square feet.
that's what's permitted by code.
I'm going to open up to the board members because I see Rose is pining over here.
I am going crazy over this one. Joel,
What?
advertise as a cottage, 2-story or 1.5, garage, deck, dining room, living room, kitchen, 2-bedroom, 2 full bath. I don't see cottage when I look at this. The other building, this almost looks bigger than the existing structure. What is the
Not
square
even
footage
close.
of both houses?
Not even close. Here's the existing house, which is a full 2 stories, and this is the cottage, which is about less than half the
That's
size.
existing. This is going away.
So basically, all we want to do is move it. Eventually, just to go into the future, they will eventually let the son move into their house, and Liz and Pat will then move into the cottage.
I don't see this as a cottage.
Well,
When I look in the,
call it whatever you want. It's an
Mike-
accessory apartment.
I asked Michael, do we have a definition of cottage, and he said he didn't. So I looked in the dictionary, and it says a simple house. To me, this is not a simple house. I looked at I think I did the calculation correct, and the acreage is .81, which is not even an acre, and you're putting two houses.
But it's been two houses on there for almost forever.
What's the square footage of the cottage, the existing cottage?
The existing cottage?
That's tiny.
Well, yeah, it's probably in the neighborhood around between 750.
Yeah.
And the new house will be 800.
That's
I mean,
the-
900, what am I saying? 900, which is allowed by code. We're not doing anything against the code. All we're doing is taking the,
The two floors equal 900 square feet?
yes, you can see the plans here.
Do you have the measurements?
Square footage calculations?
Square footage calculations? This looks way bigger.
Well, of course, I think what is,
It looks
let's don't forget there's a garage here, which
Looks like it's
which makes it,
I don't
The
know.
garage does not count towards the
Garage
square
doesn't count
footage.
towards
Yeah,
living
garage.
space.
Right.
It's living space only.
This looks like, to me, I mean, I'm only one board member, but this, to me, is
Well, if it's
a good-sized house on,
well, it's,
on,
as Michael said, the code allows up to 900 square feet, and we will not do more than 900 square feet plus the garages, as Michael said. I don't see what what your concern is.
So the plans you gave us don't have a scale, so we don't know.
No, there's a scale on there. It's 1 inch equals 20 feet, and I'm just, I'm lining it up.
This has been reduced, this is not the scale, to answer your question. And,
But it's not the scale, you're saying?
but to answer that question, 900 square feet's allowed, and it will be one square feet more, plus the garage.
so each floor will be 450 square feet.
No, this is, as you can see, there's just dormers in the attic, it's not a full second floor.
So it would be what?
450.
No, the upper floor is gonna be less than the lower floor.
Where it says low attic,
Oh, I see.
That doesn't
not
count
count.
towards the
That
math.
doesn't count?
the hall and the stairs do not count. The rest of it counts.
So it's not about the footprint, it's about the livable space.
It's about the square foot of living area.
Correct.
Do they need a garage?
Well, I don't see any reason why somebody can't have a garage on their property, come on.
Because it's a small lot, it's not even an acre. You're putting two houses
But
on less than an
There's been two
acre.
houses on there for as long as I can think. We're not changing that.
The cottage doesn't have a garage, does it?
The existing
The
one, no.
existing
But-
cottage does not have,
well,
this is a
I
big,
I don't agree with you at all.
I'm one person,
I
So,
can't
Mike, could they
disagree
not
with you more.
renovate the existing structure?
Yes.
As long as it didn't exceed 900 square feet.
Or 2 bedrooms or any of the other requirements.
So, I mean, that's an option here, Joel, that's probably less costly in my mind.
Yeah, but the other reason that you want to move it is because right now, the accessory apartment is right back here. They just want to give it, move it over. It meets all the setback requirements, the 40-foot for the rear yard, the 25-foot for the side
But I
yard.
mean,
So-
fortunately, back in 1998, they were covered. Now you're taking this whole structure, raising it, and relocating it. If this opens like Pandora's box for many
what?
other situations that are like this.
Oh, I'm sorry, but I can't agree with that at all.
it looks like it's much bigger than the footprint of the existing cottage, too.
Well, yes.
Yes,
that-
it
that
is.
it is.
Well, I'm not
Yeah,
denying that.
but it is bigger than the existing footprint.
Yeah, but we're allowed 900 square feet.
What did you say is the existing?
It's not allowed, though, Joel. It's not 1998 anymore. So it's
Am I
not really
correct?
allowed.
If there's a freestanding accessory apartment, you're allowed up to 900 square feet, am I correct?
That's correct, but if
So-
you,
But is that an
once you
apartment or
take
a
it
house?
down, it's no longer that structure.
What's that?
The structure had to be existing as of 1998. If you take it down, that structure is no longer there.
Right,
That's why you're here.
that's correct. But to answer Philip's question, if I rebuild it, can I go up to 900 square feet? Aren't I allowed to do that?
If you what?
Can the new structure be 900 square feet?
The
A
new
livable
structure
space.
can't be 1 square foot by code.
So it doesn't need an area variance for that too, then?
No,
No?
no. The code says the building had, you could put an accessory structure in the main house.
Right.
Or in an existing accessory structure that existed lawfully at the time of adoption of this chapter. 1998 is when that law went into effect. So anything that was legally there in 98 could be converted to an accessory apartment.
Gotcha.
But you had to meet all the criteria.
Right, which this
they
building
did.
does not.
Now, they chopped this building down, it's gone. Now, a new building that's going in is not an existing structure, that's why they're here.
So the board is basically applying the area criteria to the 19, yeah, it's on, to the
Just so-
1998. It's an interesting scenario. Joel's correct, as long as the footprint can be greater, but it's up to the board whether or not it meets the criteria for an area variance when you're relocating essentially the existing cottage.
So if
house.
I look in the definitions, accessory dwelling unit, accessory apartment, it says a dwelling unit is defined in this chapter, which is subordinate, no, I don't know what that means, and located within an existing single-family dwelling or existing accessory building. This is not located within. This is located without.
That's supposed to be two, by the way,
Okay.
not no.
Which is subordinate to and located within.
Correct. Now,
So
if you
that's
go
both,
ahead-
that's two. So it's subordinate to, which maybe you got that, but you know, the and makes it also within an existing single-family dwelling. This is not.
And if you go to section 156.45.1, building inspector shall issue a permit, there shall be only one accessory dwelling unit on the property, and it shall be located either in the existing single-family dwelling or in an existing accessory building, provided the accessory building was constructed and is existing in accordance with this chapter and all other applicable regulations.
Right.
So it should stay where it is.
So that's to my point, why not put the money and efforts into renovating what you have where you can expand the square footage of what it is now? Probably cost you a hell of a lot less than what a new building is gonna cost, plus the driveways and all the other accessory renovations that would need to take place. It just, in my mind, that makes the most sense.
All right, so why don't, excuse me, why don't we hold the case over and speak to the client and see if they are willing to go your route?
Yeah, I think that's
fine.
a better way, because you're going to open a can of worms here if we approve this. Not that, I'm one of five
The
votes.
can of worms is you're not gonna get approved.
So, any other board members want to speak while we still have this open?
No, I mean,
No, we're gonna hold it
it's
over.
pretty
All right, so
straightforward.
You're going to look for a postponement?
Yes, please.
Okay, I'll look for a motion.
Motion to hold over?
Second?
Oh, well, we're going to hold it over, right? Do we need to let,
No, the public hearing's still open.
should we let the public speak on this?
If there's somebody here for it, maybe.
All right, I'll open it up I'll give them courtesy if there's anyone who wants to speak on this application.
Okay, before you do that, I believe you should have some letters that I emailed
Yes,
to.
we do.
Yeah, we saw that.
The two
They're in the
neighbors
file.
had no objection.
Okay.
For the record, Raul DeCinci and Mr. and Mrs. Rosado.
All right, does anybody wish to be heard on this application before we close the public meeting? Okay,
No, we keep it open.
Yeah, okay.
Motion to hold it over.
all right, so we have a second from?
Second.
Silvio and Phil, or vice versa. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Joel.
He's up still.
All right, application, where am I? Number 8, for John Chang for a variation of section 156-15, seeking a variance for permission to retain a church on the second floor. The property is located at 716 Route 6, Mahopac, New York, tax map 76.30-1-26. The only criteria, I'm not going to read all this, but there's only so many parking spots existing, which totals 23 parking spots. What's provided, of what is required, and then what's provided is only 18. So a variance being sought of 5 parking spots is what's in front of us tonight. And Joel, you're already sworn in.
Yes.
Bring us through the situation.
Okay, very, very quickly. This has been before the planning board several times, and what happened, excuse me, what happened was, there was offices upstairs on the second floor, which is obviously up over here, and unfortunately, for whatever reason, they couldn't be rented, so I guess this small church decided they would take the space. Obviously, that was a violation. We got a violation, and we went to the planning board to adjudicate that. a couple of things that will make the variance not quite as onerous as one might think. The church and the deli will never be open at the same time. There's an agreement that whenever the deli, the services are only, I think, Wednesdays and Sundays in the evening, and the deli is closed at that time. So if you take away that, there's enough parking legally to meet the deli requirements, which needs 11 spaces, and the church, which needs 12 spaces.
So
But again, they're
there's-
not open at the same time, and also we have an agreement that the church will never have more than 25 parishioners at one time.
And how do we determine there's 32 seats? That's the count on?
Oh, no, the 30, well, the 32, it goes by square footage, and the pews are fixed, and that's how it came up. With that square footage and fixed pews, we need 12 spaces.
All right, my question to you is, I was out there the other night, there looks like there are some other areas where some spots can be created. Like, for instance, where you pull ahead next to the handicap spot.
Yes.
You pull ahead, there's a dumpster loading, obviously you can't park there, but there's a spot that is,
You talking over here?
yeah,
This is
it's
the
like a
dumpster over here.
triangle piece that has a couple
Over here?
bollards in it right now.
Yeah.
Could a spot be created there? And also in front, there's some pavers that are used for a picnic area. It looks like you can get 2 spots out of that. And in addition, I didn't have a tape measure with me, but my foot, a 10-inch shoe is usually 12 inches. I counted almost like 10-foot wide spots. Could you not restripe it and look for a variance to minimize the size of the parking
Absolutely.
lots? Mike, I don't know if that's an option. I know we've approved, as a board, we've approved 9-foot wide
Yeah.
parking spots, and it looked like they were pretty wide. I mean, if you probably could get 1 or 2 more spots out of restriping alone, and then maybe create a couple additional
All right,
spots.
so
from-
why don't we do this? Again, hold it over. Why don't we look into, and I know in several projects you have approved 9-foot spaces.
I mean, I'm
That-
just thinking out loud.
No,
I mean,
no,
I'm one of
I-
5 board members here, and I'd like to hear what
I-
other board members want to
Can I
say
just
before we.
finish that point? So if we go to 9-foot spaces, obviously, there's a good chance that we can get a couple extra spaces, and the variance may go down, instead of 5, maybe go down to 2 or
I'm
3.
saying to minimize it as best as possible. I mean, it'll cost a little to do some striping and
Yeah,
and
paint.
restriping.
It's called
but-
paint.
But I want to
Right.
hear the board members anyway, if anyone has
No
any
other
other
comments?
opinions.
I'm actually okay with the variance as it is, but I appreciate you trying to help us out and
You know,
help the town out.
the old saying, have the minimum variance.
Rose, you have nothing?
Yeah, I think it's a good Solomon-esque type solution to this, so.
John?
No comments.
All right, so you want to hold this over and.
Yeah, and we'll
Because
come
look,
back.
our job is to grant the minimal
Yep.
possible.
I have no problem with that.
So let's look into that, and.
Absolutely.
Looks like we're going to have a lot of holdovers for next month, but.
4
it is
so
what it is.
far.
All right, so I'll
Another
look,
board member.
Motion to hold over.
well, hold
till-
on, let's let the public give an opportunity, if anybody in the public wishes to be heard on this application? I didn't think so. So I'll look for a motion to hold this over.
Motion to hold over.
I'll second.
Still, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, thanks, Joel.
Have a good night, Joel.
Have a good night, Joel.
Not yet.
Wait, you,
Oh, your third one too? Oh, it's the triple crown.
The trifecta.
Joel's earning some money tonight.
Triple billing, we call it.
All right, number 9, final application tonight is for Nicolis Smalzlage for a variation of section 156-15, seeking a variance for permission to retain existing freestanding garage. The property is located at 579 Croton Falls Road, Carmel, New York, and tax map 77.13-2-44. The code requires or allows the rear yard to be 15 feet. There's 0 feet provided, and a variance of 19 feet, or 15 feet is being sought. And then for the front yard, 40 foot to Munich Road is the required and allowed, and what's being provided is 37 feet, so a 3-foot variance is being sought for that. Joel, you're already sworn in, so bring us through this one.
Here we go. Okay, as you can see from the survey, this is the garage right over here, and as you can also see, it's right on the property line. What we've done is, again, if you walked out to the property and also went up to Munich Road and looked back at it, Basically, while the front of the garage obviously faces the driveway that goes out to Croton Falls Road, if you go to the back and you look at the grading here, the garage is basically buried. And we had some conversation with this gentleman over here, whose house is about over here. And again, if you go up Munich Road, the grade keeps going up and up and up, so that this gentleman's house is quite a bit higher than this gentleman's house, than my client's house.
So
And
he's
basically-
a corner lot, so he's got two frontages.
Well, yeah, and again, the reason the variances are the way they are is because we have two front lots, so you basically have two fronts and one rear yard, and that's it. There's no side yards in this case.
All right,
Anyway,
how long has the garage been there for?
do you have I don't know.
Looks decrepit.
Yeah, it looks like it's been there for a while.
Yeah, well, it looks like there's some renovations going on. I mean, this whole property is puzzling to me, honestly. You know, it looks like the garage that was attached to the house is now sunken and the land is sunken,
Actually, the other way around, it's up.
or vice versa, or whatever, but and he's got some vineyards or something going on there, but
Some what?
that's just a personal question I had. But, yeah, it looks like the garage is in disrepair or half repair.
Well,
or-
no, well, actually, it was under construction, and when it got the violation, obviously, he was not
Oh,
allowed
then
to
it
do
was a
anything.
stopover.
Oh, okay.
So it's on its way, but no,
Okay.
it's only been there since the violation, actually.
All right, so you talked to the neighbors
Okay, so
on that
let me-
right side?
yeah, and, okay, let me just,
Joel, just speak into the microphone better.
I-
It's hard to
I-
hear you this evening.
I know. But if you could just-
Thanks, Joel.
This is
No, microphone, Joel.
Yep. We're passing out a letter from the neighbor, basically saying that he has no objection to the garage being on the property line. Again, as I mentioned, his house is at a much higher elevation, and the back of this garage is almost completely buried, so all he can see basically is, if you look over here at the picture and look at his grading here, all he can see basically is the triangle of the top of the roof. And he also wrote a letter for us indicating that he has no objection to the garage staying where it is.
Okay.
That goes a long way.
And that's the neighbor on that direct
The
right
neighbor to
side?
the, yeah, the neighbor to the right.
So they're fronted on-
Which is basically, because you have these two roads converging here, he's really the only neighbor.
So they're fronted on Munich and not Croton Falls?
It's odd. Well, yeah, his house is over here, but yes, he does have frontage on Croton Falls. He has also frontage on Munich Road.
So
So,
he's
but
got
for
two
some
fronts,
reason, the way his house, the neighbor's house was built, it made more sense to have his driveway coming off Munich Road. Because, again, because this
Probably
is so
the
much
height.
higher, if you went off Croton Falls Road, you'd have a very, very steep driveway. So this way, it's much closer to the road, and the grade for the driveway is, it's up much higher elevation, but it's easy for him to get to his house through Munich Road.
If this gets approved, is this thing going to get completed?
Absolutely. Well, after we get a building permit.
Of course.
Don't hold your breath there. Rose?
When I drove by, it almost looked like the back part of the garage, the roof, was on the other person's property. Have they had it surveyed? Because you're saying it's a zero.
Yes, this is an actual survey which was just done maybe a month or so ago, so it's very
Yeah,
accurate.
because it did look like it was actually sitting on potentially the other person's property.
No. Actually, there's only one portion of the garage that's on the property line. The other one, I think, is .4 feet, like maybe half a foot inside the property. But the answer, for generally, it's basically on the property line.
And I guess there's no way, I don't know anything about construction, there's no way to bring that side of the roof in more, is there?
Well, again, you probably didn't go inside it, but this thing is built like a fortress. This is all poured concrete up to here, concrete block. I mean, it's,
Oh, I think it's the overhang.
She's
The
talking
overhang.
about the eave.
oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, the overhang of the roof is really isn't that really what's causing the problem? Or is it the actual structure itself,
No.
Surveys are to the wall of the structure.
to the wall of the structure? So you don't worry about that overhang?
It doesn't count for zoning, but if I owned the property next door and it was overhanging my property, I'd have an issue with it.
That's what I would think.
He doesn't.
But he doesn't.
He
This-
doesn't.
But he doesn't, he submitted that he's in
But
support.
in zoning, if you read the code, it says eaves do not count as long as they're up to, I think, 3 feet or whatever, which this is well under that.
Oh, well under 3 feet.
Joel, there's no other property he can purchase to bring this into conformance, correct?
Absolutely not. As I say, you can see the triangle, and that's it.
And I'm
And
serious.
and again, also, just so you realize that, and in fact, Michael pointed out to me, there is a stream along Croton Falls Road that goes all along here, so there's really, as far as building, this is basically just this small area is the only thing that's buildable. The rest of it
There's
is
a
not.
wetland setback there.
I'm serious about my ponder. Is there, like, vineyards? Is that what those hedgerows are? I see an old man working on that property all day long.
That's the owner of the house. Yes, it's a lot of landscaping, a lot of trees along Croton Falls Road. And then, as I said, there's a stream that comes through here, and it goes, I guess it comes from the neighbor's property, goes under his driveway, continues down past Munich Road.
That does say the eve is over by 1.4 feet.
And I would not want to put, I don't think we would even be allowed to put any structures over here.
It's a tough one because he built it already, and it's as solid as it is. I mean, to make him raise this thing would be costly.
Plus the way he's also built the land up with all the retaining walls.
Yeah.
Where you go from there.
Phil, you got any?
I have no questions,
Wisdom?
thank you.
Sil?
No, nothing.
John?
No, if Robert Concall, he doesn't have an issue with that,
Okay.
his neighbor to the left.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
No further questions.
Anybody in the public wish to be heard on this application? I'll look for a motion to close the hearing on this.
Motion to close.
Do I have a second?
Second.
By Silvio. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay,
I shall go back to my seat now.
thanks, Joel, please.
Thank you.
All right, at this point, there's no input on any application as we adjudicate this evening. Number 1 and 2 have already been held over. Application number 3, William and Joy Bloomer, I'll look for a motion.
Motion to grant?
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, application number 4, Sargis Mirza, I'll look for a motion.
Motion to grant.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Application number 5, Avila, look for a motion.
Motion to grant.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Application number 6, Simone, do I have a
Motion
motion?
to grant.
Do I have a second?
One quick question. Do
Yeah,
you
sure.
want to add, remove the vinyl shed that's existing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
I'll amend my motion. So motion to grant on the condition that the vinyl shed is on the property gets removed.
He did say for the record that he would be,
Right.
but yeah,
let's
just get
put
it in there.
What was that?
Do I have a second to that?
Okay.
Second.
Yeah,
Yeah.
going in the same spot.
Yeah, but let's just make it official. in case he
Seconded
moves
by
it.
Phil. All in favor?
Aye.
Granted. Application number 7 was being held over. Application number 9 is also being held over.
Yes.
And application number 9, I'll look for a motion. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce the last name, Joel.
Smiley?
So,
How do you pronounce the
number
last name?
7 is being held over, and number 8 is
Smiley?
being held over.
Yes.
Yes, number 7 and number 8. If I said the numbers wrong, I apologize.
trying to clear it up.
So application number 9, small lodge,
Smiley.
I'll look for a motion.
Motion to grant.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Minutes.
Minutes from June 22nd, I was not here, so I'll look for a motion for...
Motion to accept.
Do we have a second?
Second?
Any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion to
Motion to
close the meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
Oh,
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Have a happy, safe summer, everyone. Stay hydrated and cool, and stay in the shade. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody.